tonight's meeting has something very important to attend. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be here. And I'm very happy that even with the handful of us, we will understand what are the problems with the industry and what is currently going on. So here we have part of the executive body, our presidential candidate, and our prime minister candidate here. We are like the sugar workers, and this, again, we will take back to the television, we will take back to Georgia and the whole of Guyana, because it is a big concern for sugar workers. You are being exploited to the greatest extent, and the reward is not there. So I will just leave this now that Mr. Ramkisan just came from Georgetown, and the team, and we have here our political campaign manager, and he's going back Friday. So it's a big report will be given to the overseas people to know what we are facing in Guyana. So I do hope if you have questions or questions to ask, you feel free to do so after I introduce Mr. Ramkisan to all of you here as to what crisis or what we are facing at the current moment with the sugar industry. Mr. Ramkisan.
Thanks very much. Dr. Romaya, for chairing the proceedings in the absence of Mr. McNeil, who indicated that he would like me to come down from Georgetown. Of course, we had some very busy schedule, but we managed to make it because we wanted more to tell you about the problems because you face it every day. It is largely to learn from you what it is that you're suffering, and moreover, to give us some of the suggestions. For some time now, you'd appreciate that the sugar industry, especially from about 5-6 years ago, has been declining. Declining because of bad decisions. A major decision that was bad was rather the decision to pull and spend a whole set of money on Skeldon alone, over $280 million US. Rather than to rehabilitate all these factories around the country, they wanted to put their egg in one basket, call it Skeldon Factory, and thereafter hope that the industry is going to go on the upward. They did not take into consideration, largely, that the world market prices for sugar somehow going to come down. The European Union, who have been warning them that a lot of the quotas and all the high special price, what you call preferential prices, now I hope you all understand that. The European Union used to give them some higher price than the world market price because the European countries felt they had an obligation to their colonies because, of course, they had enslaved us, they had made us indentured laborers, they had colonized us, and they have an obligation to give us special prices. But that today does not operate in the minds of the new leaders in those European countries. They don't care about the whole history. They today care about what is for their benefit, that young generation. And so they don't care about responsible colonies and poor people and so on that you have. So it is important that we understand that that new generation of European leaders, although some of them care for us, they're not going to care like those in the 1940s and 50s and so on. So they're going to give whatever little, but not the much like we used to get. Special prices, sometimes 3 times more than the world market price. It is quickly going to die. What we got to do in the sugar industry is to ensure that we efficientize. Efficientize means all the husbandry practices, fertilizer, the procurement, where you're going to get all the spare parts with the factory and so on at a cheaper rate, no corruption, no stealing of fertilizers, and so on, and to run a very tight financial ship. We don't have that at ISU. The other big difficulty is that whenever you're running a big corporation like Gaisuko, you're supposed to have professionals running it, not political favorites. And right now we got inside the Gaisuko political favorites. The chairman is a big political favorite. He's not literally qualified for running anything. But he now is the chairman, Nanda Gopal. The other political favorite, as y'all know, is Dana Ramutar. Raj Singh, another PP fella from across Canada, he come over. And when you check the entire board, Geeta Singh she is the one with the Clico debacle. Break the law. I don't know. She should be in jail rather than as a director of Gaisuko. Because she took 34 million US Clico money. US. Passed them through and carried to Bahamas. And so on. And this is what happened here. So the professionalism to run the industry is not there. They also took some, what you call technical people at super salaries. The industry does not have much profit, but they start paying some people $2.6 million a month. That was the salary, by the way, of Mr. Hanneman. They had other technical people running the industry, getting $1.8 million. And then the poor cane cutter, working his heart out. How much you get? $3,000 a week? Sometimes $5,000 a week? I don't know how much you get. And you gotta really do the hard work. Of recent times too, and they brought libel action against me for all of this. They have not been selling our sugar for the best prices in and around the Caribbean and so on. And so the best prices for your sugar are not getting because they want to give some of their friends the contract to sell and distribute the sugar. So if you're supposed to get 14 cents Trinidad dollars per pound or whatever, $14 Trinidad for pound of sugar, you're now getting only 12 because they want certain of their friends who they know in the supermarkets in Trinidad to get the distributorship. So when them guys this go to Trinidad now, they get the best hotels and all kinds of mischief, immorality things. So, that is what has run down this industry more than anything else. And I want you to understand that if you don't have professional managership, if you don't have efficient running of all the little departments within the various estates, you're going to have a destruction of a backbone economy, of a backbone industry. Yesterday, it was the backside workers who they said they want to be recognized. Today, they come into their own, the sugar workers, saying how they want to de-recognize the union and so on. The workers of this country in the sugar and the bauxite industry literally has sustained this country for 100 years. Today, the administration largely made up of voters from the sugar industry are telling the people, to hell with Gao. To hell with Gao. Brothers and sisters, it is important to understand the arrogance and the authoritarianism of this Jagdeo administration. It has gone far. But you know what? It is important to understand that you're going to have a lot of people still not believing in what they say, but still thinking that there is not an alternative. And we, in the Alliance for Change, would like to tell you that there is an alternative to the PPP. A big alternative. And we feel that it is time now that people start thinking reason rather than race and do what is right for the country and do what is right for the industry. Do what is right for largely your own community. You don't do it, we fall then back into that lackadaisical attitude, and you end up being probably worse and worse and worse. It has affected this sugar industry, the bauxite industry's downward slide has affected everything. It has affected the communities. The drainage can't be made. The education system is bad. The food in your pots is limited. And so many things, the wages and all of that. So it is important to understand the impact that you have in relation to when the sugar and bauxite literally declining. Apart from that, there are other social issues that come in. Suicide, teenage pregnancy, HIV/AIDS, drunkenness, domestic violence, all of that bad economic times. And so when you feel that you know how come people drinking and driving, knocking down 12 people at 19 road, you have to understand that there is a root cause. The discipline has gone out of the society largely because the economics have affected the lifestyles we live now. And why that economy has gone? Because of not efficient production measures, bad professionalization in the industry, bad governance. And they now take our money, go and build $200 million house, sell it, and then go and build another one house far down. The arrogance of the man is that now saying that he's going to, instead of raise the wages of sugar workers and other workers, that he's going to take $400 million and go give people computer. A very bad policy. Because once that computer breaks down, people, you got to put the money into schools where teachers will teach people how to do computer science and computer classes. But I want you to understand that all of this is part of an elections gimmick. Elections is around the corner. So you're going to promise you solar panel for your roof, the computer, you're going to come and do some streets. And we must not be fooled. I want people to understand that. Please don't be fooled. Because this is what happens every 5 years. We're gonna, as the East Indians would say, we go bunbunai for 5 years and then 2 minutes in the ballot box. When you have an opportunity to correct the mistakes you have made, you go on and vote back for them. We gotta stop that. For the sake of our next generation, for the sake of ourselves, we have to be stopped being fooled by them. You want, and this has happened since the death of Dr. Jagan, an honest politician, but what has taken over is dishonesty, self-aggrandizement. You want a bucket, you check out some of their houses, it's bigger than Barack Obama house. And they go 3-4 times to New York every year. President Bce Dec has now, in his benefits after he would come off in 2011, has created a package for himself. He must get $1 million a month after he left office. He must get 2 drivers. He must get 2 cooks. He must get 2 clerical staff. He must get 2 first-class tickets to go to London every year. Now when you got to put aside money for that, you think you're going to get anything left for sugar workers? You're not going to get anything left for sugar workers. And he passed that in law, in Parliament.